Lately, when I pick a new game to purchase, I'm getting pretty picky. I want a new experience. I want something that I haven't seen before. I want something that fits in my collection that doesn't match anything else in it right now. Why play Game X when Game X is basically Game Y with a few new elements in it, right? One game that's doing this for us right now is Pulsar 2849, a great game from Czech Games Edition that brings in fun mechanisms blended together with great gameplay. Now, it's not a lot of new mechanisms, and I'm okay with that. I don't care if the mechanisms are new, I care if the blend of those mechanisms is new. Also, the game has a round board. Now, I know that's not a new thing, and I know it's done in other games, but I think this game is great in how they present it, that round board, and how things are attached to it. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm Jacob Russell, and this is the Gamer Curator. Pulsar 2849 was designed by Vladimir Suchy, with art by Sören Meding, and designed by Czech Games Edition. This game is a fun blend of theme and gameplay. Essentially, yes, it's a Euro, but the theme is sprinkled in just right. You are able to focus on strategy without getting distracted on the fluff. Don't get me wrong, I love me some fluff, but I want fluff with intent. Think about that. The art in this game is non-intrusive. The board itself balances interest, but without getting in the way of the gameplay itself. There are no superfluous elements here. Everything is a balance of functionality and art. Virtually everything serves a purpose to give you context in what's able to be done in this game. The icons and the technologies help you know what those technologies do when you upgrade to them. The planetary tiles have the icons on those, the planets on those, to help you know what can be placed there. So the art is this great blend of theme and functionality, and I love when a game does that. Especially with a game like this. It's not a complicated game, and it's really easy to bring out a second time and not have to go over the rules all over again, because your iconography and your artwork are able to be blended together to help you understand what's going on. This game isn't theme heavy, and it's not supposed to be. But what it does, as I was saying before, is that it gives you context. The art in its simplicity serves a purpose. It has functionality. And I love when art does that. It's not just, like I said, fluff, which we know I'm okay with, but I love how everything serves a purpose. Now, I admit, the first thing that caught my eye in this game was the circular board. It may seem a bit like a gimmick, but really it's not. I argue that it's not overly gimmicky. What it does is it gives you context, especially because all the other pieces fit snugly against the board. They curve the edges of all the pieces to help you put things around the board to give you that context. And I love what this does. It draws you in. It does have that visual interest to keep you engaged. This game could have easily been done with a rectangular board and be just fine. The other pieces could be on the edge, and it would serve the same purpose, and it would be just as fun. But this is a great way to present the rules, to present what's connected to each other, to present what's capable in this game. I love how it does have a round board. I think it shows that there was thought put in through the whole process, how everything fits together. And it kind of resembles how everything fits together in the rules as well. It's a really easy game to understand. Things flow well, and that's helped by the presentation of all the components. You can start on one end of the board and go around and explain how everything works, how everything ties together. It really is great how everything is this circular motion to it, and I love that. Now, there aren't any new groundbreaking mechanisms in this game, but what it is, it's a fun new cocktail of familiar mechanisms that we're able to see how they blend together. I think that's where innovation has taken place these days, is how you can see what is familiar and how you can blend that into each other to create a new experience. And this is great, especially with the swelling of interest in this hobby. It's fun to have new players come in and see what's possible. It's fun to show them these fun mechanisms and how they all go together, and you can kind of talk to them as you're explaining it. Say, oh, and this was fun in this one game, but this game definitely does it better. And it's fun to see the evolution of these mechanisms being blended together that do create some offspring of new mechanisms, but overall, it's not what's new that matters, it's how everything that is blended together creates a new experience. Ultimately, what's happening is we're having this refining process. Over multiple games, you can see familiar mechanisms, but everything's being refined, being improved upon. Everything's being elevated to new heights, and I love that. It's a very exciting time to be in this hobby, and this game is a great illustration of where that excitement can come from. One thing I love about the experience from this game is the freedom you have. You can focus on the board and focus all your points on there. You could focus on the technologies and on your end game scoring objectives, or a blend of all three of those. There are great opportunities to kind of pivot your strategy. If you see that you're slacking in one thing, you can pick up the slack with something else. Or if another player is going one way and you see that how well it's doing, you can pivot your strategy to see how you can defend against that or take advantage of what they're doing. I love when games give you this freedom. It's hard to see at first, that freedom, but it is there as you start to play it more and you see these different possibilities. I love when a game gives you this freedom. It's fun to find strategies. It's fun to see what works and what doesn't work, what you're good at, what you're not good at, how you can adapt, how you can thrive. Also in this game, it's easy to see where the mistakes were. At the end of the game, you can see, oh man, it was this decision that I chose poorly, and I could see the effects of that later on. It's not a long game, and that's fun because every decision kind of creates this idea of urgency and importance, because there's not a lot of rounds in the game. You don't have a lot of actions. And that tension that builds is palpable, and you're kind of frustrated because there's so much you want to do, but you can't do everything. So each gameplay, you're trying to experiment with other things and trying to see what works. It's fantastic. And even though there is this freedom, it's not overwhelming. There's not so many options that you're completely overwhelmed, but there are enough to give you that sense of freedom, of openness, like space. This game is exactly what I wanted it to be. Something fresh, something new. I love what Czech Games does with their games. We have games like a Galaxy Trucker and Space Alert and Pulsar 2849. These games that do new things. And they're all in space. Check that out. But they do these new things, these fun takes on games and on experiences, and they really do create great experiences. Pulsar 2849, fantastic game. Excited to play it again and happy to share it with anyone that would want to play it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy you did. Please follow me on social media. If there's any games that you want me to do, please let me know. And if I have it, I'm totally interested in doing it. Thank you so much.